Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the live stream, and thank you for joining us. Today, I'm recording this interview with my friend Atharva because I found his story very inspiring. Atharva started learning Dash Plotly through this Charming Data YouTube channel, and within 7 months, he found a job because of his Dash Plotly skill. So today, I invited Atharva to share with us how he got started with Dash Plotly, how he built his resume and got hired for the job, and how he uses Dash Plotly at work. In the second part of this live stream, we will open it up to questions, so you will get a chance to ask Atharva any questions you might have. I recommend using the comment section of the video. If you would like to comment throughout the video, I have access to see that, not Atharva. And I will also do my best to follow your comments along whenever I get a chance to see them and read them. Atharva's GitHub and links to the dashboard apps that he created that actually helped him find his job can be found under the video in the description section. So a little bit about Atharva. Atharva Katrek is an engineering student expecting to graduate in 2022. Good luck, Atharva. I hope you graduate on time. He lives in Mumbai, India. He just started working for Data Profit, a company that offers artificial intelligence solutions specialized in NLP development, big data analysis, and web data collection. So welcome to the Charming Data channel, Atharva, and thank you for agreeing to share your experience with everyone here today. So to start us off, can you please share with us how did you get into Dash Plotly? What got you started?
Well, hello everyone. First of all, thank you for having me here. So all of this started back in the month of September last year. I took up an online course for data science where the instructor briefed about Plotly. So how I get started with any library, I built my own projects. So I started working around different data sets. I built out different visualizations with Plotly. And when I was ready, I got into Dash. That's how I found out your channel. And from there, my journey began in Dash.
Okay, but and before Dash, were you using a different type of data visualization library?
Yeah, I was familiar with Matplotlib, Seaborn, just quite a few.
Okay, and what can you share with us? What you preferred? Why you preferred Plotly over Seaborn?
Well, of course, the very first reason that Plotly, being an interactive visualization library, it allows us to interact with the data, uh, see the outliers of each data point. We can zoom on it. That's all stood out from the other data libraries other than Plotly.
Cool. What would you say you like most about using Dash?
Well, so I am a core Python programmer. I have very little knowledge about the front end technologies, like as we talk about HTML, CSS, and Dash. As we know, it offered it bridged the gap between my Python skills and the front end technologies. So I can quickly share my Dash Plotly visualizations with anyone using Dash.
And that's thank you, Atharva, because that's a very good point. Because I was talking to someone that built a dashboard with Power BI, and actually I think it was about 2 weeks ago that I did the same dashboard with Dash Plotly, and that person told me that they with Power BI you can't. It's great, but you have a free version, you can't share that dashboard as a link with anybody, and that's the advantage that you just talked about. With Dash Plotly, you can create your own dashboard on and deploy it to the web and just share it with anybody.
Yeah,
that's a big advantage. What would you say are some Dash Plotly tips you would give our Charming Data viewers?
well, if you're someone who is just starting out in Dash Plotly, well, I'm not an expert in it, but from my experience, I can say that just don't be overwhelmed by all the functionalities that Dash and Plotly provide. Go step by step, follow each tutorial I say. So that would be nice. Yeah.
So you're saying just do it slowly, like not feel overwhelmed, and just start from the beginning, take it piece by piece.
Yeah, follow each
Okay.
chapter. The documentation is great. Follow each chapter in the documentation, or go through your playlist, which is a great resource for learning Dash. So yeah,
Oh, the Charming Data
that's how I
playlist.
learn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. Okay, so there's the documentation on Dash is very organized.
yeah.
What is there a callback you would recommend beginners in Charming Data to focus on first, or a component or a core component? Anything you think they should focus on first?
Well, in my opinion, the callbacks are the most important part in the Dash application. So if you can figure out callbacks, the rest of the components and the layout is pretty easy to grasp. So just focus on the callbacks first. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything you would recommend they avoid?
Uh, if they want to avoid, I'd say, mm, well, there's nothing to avoid. It's pretty simple. The documentation is great. They can just follow each tutorial step by step. There's nothing any. In my case, I didn't face any big hurdles in learning Dash, so I wouldn't
Okay.
recommend to avoid anything. Yeah.
Okay, so pretty maybe just what you said at the beginning. Just don't rush into it. Don't try.
Yeah.
I'll see sometimes beginners that reach out to me for a consultation or for help, and they're trying this very complex, advanced dashboard that a beginner would have a very hard time doing, and I would recommend them they don't do, right. But they do it because they get excited about it. It's cool, things they can do. But it's just too complicated, and there's just too many gaps. Start with small data visualizations, small dashboards, like one little plot, two little plots, one callback, and then slowly build your way up.
Yeah, exactly. From my experience, I could tell about my example. If suppose including a complex component like a drop down which is affected by another callback, and that after and both of these update a graph, I would say that work if you're getting any errors, you're stuck on it. Just try to create a minimal example where you try to sort out the each component and go along and go ahead and try to execute that first.
Yeah, that's great advice, Atharva. Thank you. Let's start with the minimal example. You mentioned something about how you start with the layout first, and then you go into the. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so uh, I wouldn't used to follow these steps previously, but since after getting this job, I started following this protocol that before building out the final dashboard, I built out a basic wireframe. So wireframe is basically like a skeleton or template of a web application. So I just put out empty components without any complex graphs in it. So that's how I design the layout, arrange the components, align it, and then when I'm happy with the layout, I then start building my final app.
That's a good point. Like try to I do that sometimes. I didn't do that as a beginner, and now when I do that, it really makes life a lot easier. First, build a layout, see where you want things with fake graphs, empty graphs, fake text, and then put everything in there. I also
Yeah,
want to highlight something that one of our watchers has just said, Tangi Gues. Every specific question you can have certainly already been explored on Plotly Dash Plotly here. He mentions that Dash Plotly community is very super helpful. It's really important to leverage this resource, and I completely agree with him. Actually, I was going to touch upon that in a few questions, but yes, that is the Plotly forum. Atharva, have you had any experience working with the Plotly forum?
well, I couldn't agree more with what Tangi is saying. Yeah, sure. In fact, the very idea of like creating a skeleton template, I got this from the community forum. I put a question in the community forum: what would be the best approach to start designing or building a Dash application? And someone from the community built out that empty, or I'll say the wireframe for me, and that's how I follow the protocols in my development process.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you, Tharva. Now I'd like to transition into the story of how you got the job, right? So you mentioned that you just got hired. Congratulations for that. When did you start?
Yeah, thank you so much. It's already been a month. So the story goes back like uh, I started learning Dash. I built out my very my own personal projects. And after building my projects, I knew that as a data analyst or working in the data field, I knew that Dash and Plotly are just one of the few weapons that I can have in my arsenal as a data analyst. There are other technologies that I can learn. But on a second thought, I was also wondering that is Dash and Plotly actually been used in the industry? So just like any other developer stuck in a confusion, I went to Google and I literally typed Dash and Plotly jobs. So the very first link that I got was the ad posting from Data Profits. Data Profits, my company, which hired me. And just out of curiosity, or rather say throwing a dart in the dark, I applied to the posting. I created my portfolio on the platform, and I applied for that a posting. I wasn't even sure that I would even get a reply. I was not hoping for even a reply, but luckily they approached me later.
Okay, so you typed in Google Dash Plotly job, very
Yeah.
simple, straightforward. You found this job position on Upwork, this website. Then you applied. What did you put on your resume that you feel got them to call you or to reach out to you?
Well, that ad posting specifically said they said that they were looking for someone with Dash and Plotly skills. They have upcoming projects where they need to build these dashboards. So they were like looking specifically for the Dash and Plotly skills. So someone who could integrate their data analysis into a dashboard, so people from different businesses can view them. So I just created my portfolio. So while creating this portfolio, I kept in mind that they were actually looking for someone with Dash and Plotly skills. So I prioritized my personal projects in my resume or my portfolio. So whoever is looking into it would uh, see my experience with Dash Plotly first. So that's
Okay,
what
so
my
that's what you prioritize on your resume, your Dash Plotly skills, right?
Yep.
Did you put anything? Did you put you mentioned you build stuff with Dash Plotly? Did you put that on your resume?
Yes, I did. I put my GitHub links, my project links, all of that, and a small brief description of each of the projects.
Okay, so now they could in text they could read what you actually did to um uh, in text you put all about your Dash Plotly skills. But then you added links so they can actually click on it of dashboard that you actually put on a deployed web. They can actually see how you did your dashboard.
Yes, exactly.
I actually love those dashboards. I'm going to show them right now. I have them right now here, briefly, because they are very impressive. Let me share the screen so other our watchers can see.
Okay.
All right. So, Atharva, can you see the screen, the GitHub screen?
Yes, I can.
Good. So everybody else can see it as well. This is Atharva's GitHub. These two links here, repositories, are the dashboards that Atharva created that helped him get the job. So you can go in there and you can see all about the code and how he's writing it out here. This one has a little bit more code than the other one. But these two links, these two repositories, refer to these two dashboard apps. This was the first dashboard app that Atharva created, which is kind of cool. This has a little bit of the Django dash poly in it. These numbers add up when the dash starts, the dash app is refreshed, and then you'll see here a choropleth map of the history of COVID uh, once it's loaded. For it to load, and you can see a play button. You can play it, or you can go like this, and you can see how numbers of the countries change according to the number of cases. And then the other one is this. Can you tell us a little bit about this? Because this is a really interesting dashboard app.
Yeah. So this one actually was a my well, I'm pretty proud of it. I'd rather say. So this was a research-based project. It demonstrates the biases and predictability of our real world in the real world natural data sets that are found. So if you take so for example, just say the very first phenomenon that says the Benford's law. So this says that the leading digits of any data set are most likely to be the number one, then the number two, and followed by number three up to the number nine. So the number nine has the least chance of being the leading digit of a data set with high orders of magnitude. So here you can see on the graph the leading digits are on the x-axis. The yellow bar shows their frequency of occurrence in the data set, and you can see the numbers are following the exact prediction by the orange line, which is the definition of the law. You can test out different data sets from there. Yeah, so that's all.
Nice,
So this is just one of
nice,
the
very nice.
example on the app. There are other such phenomena. If you scroll down, it's a long read, about 10 minutes read. You can explore all of these data sets.
Nice. You can change it from log to linear with these radio items. You have brevity law as well. What is it called? Brevity. Um, really, really cool. Really, really cool apps. So this you can find under in the description under the video if you want to explore them more. Let me stop share the screen. All right, cool. Great. Atharva, so before we jump into the next section, can you share with us what type of, do you remember what type of questions they asked you at the interview? Were there any data visualization or plot questions?
Um, well, they didn't ask much. We had an interview call where they asked about my educational details and my experience in Flash Plotly. They asked a few questions like, how is this achievable, or is this possible in Dash Plotly? What are your inputs on this? And like specifically, if you said like technical questions, they did ask me how can we remove the Dash Plotly logo from any graphs, or how can we structure the layout and the callbacks in any Dash program. That's it.
Cool. Another brief tip that I saw from Tangi. Tangi is really firing with all these great tips here. Is that Dash Enterprise? The Dash Enterprise gallery is the place where you can see all these apps that Dash created. I'll put it here in the comments so you can see right here. These are all this just put it in Google and you'll see all these apps that Dash team created. And there's for most of them the code is free, so and open source. So you can actually look at it and follow along and see how they built it. Did you use the Dash app gallery of Atharva? You didn't need that.
No, I did visited that. I took a few of the references from there. Like I didn't knew about the Dash DAC components. I don't know if you have covered that on your channel, but the DAC components are really cool. Like you can have those indicators.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I referenced that from the Dash gallery. So yeah, it is a nice helpful resource for new learners.
Cool. All right, Atharva. So now you have your dream job. You're using Dash Plotly at work. Can you tell us a little bit about your position and in what capacity do you use Dash at your job?
Uh, well, so the ad posting for the job was as a full time employee. So I'm currently still a student. I haven't graduated yet. So they have hired me as currently I'm working as an intern as a junior data analyst in the company, where my role includes analyzing different data sets, finding patterns in it, finding any correlations in the data. And when I'm ready with all these analysis and visualizations, I my final task includes creating a dashboard so that people from different businesses can see all those analysis in a drill down manner, like not very technical, so people can understand it.
So you take the data, you manipulate, you clean it. You use what library do you use for that?
Mostly I use pandas.
Pandas, and then you build out the layout. Do you use Dash Bootstrap for that or regular HTML div?
No, I use Dash Bootstrap for it. Actually, Dash Bootstrap is great. It's no shame in using Dash Bootstrap. In fact, the companies are already encouraging people to use Dash Bootstrap. It saves a lot of time. So I highly recommend using Dash Bootstrap components.
Okay, so you take the data, you clean it with the pandas, you create the layout with Dash Bootstrap, then you add all the core and the HTML components in Dash, and then you build a whole layout. And after the layout,
Uh, well, first first the wireframes are designed. So I created an entity as I talked about before. Then after the wireframe is finalized, I build out each specific component, add to my application. Then next comes the graph, and after all the graphs are loaded on the front page, the final step involves including the callbacks, so the graphs can be updated as per the user interaction. So yeah, after the callbacks, just the design part of it remains with like choosing a color palette for the dashboard. That's it.
cool. Um, as you were learning Dash, I think you mentioned this at the very beginning, but as a summary, when you were learning Dash, what were the resources that helped you the most?
Okay, so the very first project I did I built like the COVID-19 dashboard. it was actually built on Django. So I created all this visualization in Plotly. I wasn't sure how to add those visualizations on a web page, so I thought I would figure out it later. So I built the web pages in HTML using the Django framework, but I still couldn't find any proper you said like proper way to add those embed those visualizations on my web page. So I found out about the Django Plotly dash library, which is a separate library. It's also dash library, but it's embedded with Django. So I used that library. Later, after that project was over, found out about that Plotly has the own dash library, which allows this very specific this feature to add the visualizations on the web page. So I started learning dash from there, and then I found out your channel, and it was a great help in the process.
Thank you, Atharva. Just wanted to let you know that Sai Prasad is saying hi from Poon here, just because Atharva can't see the comments.
Yeah.
Atharva,
Hi.
two pieces of advice for our charming data viewers.
As I already said, that advice is refer the documentation, follow each chapter step by step. Don't rush into it. If you're stuck on any errors, just ask out in the community. 99% of the time, the error you're facing is already been encountered by someone, and the answer is already available on the community. So yeah, the community is great resource for help on your projects.
I'm going to put that here. It's a great resource for help. Let me highlight that here so everybody can see. All right. So thank you, Atharva. Now that we've shared, that you shared with us your experience, I want to open it up to the audience, to the charming data viewers. If anybody would like to ask Atharva any question, now is your chance. You can ask any questions about his experience, about his personal experience with Dash, professional experience with Dash, life, anything you want. Atharva, you feel free to answer whichever. Let me see here. Kindly. We have a question, I think. My company choose dashboard analysis and data and scale over. You know, Tanji or Tangi, I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Asked a question which I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to answer, because he was asking why a company would choose Dash Plotly framework for data analysis and data analytics over a solution like Tableau Power BI. I don't have enough experience with Tableau Power BI to answer that question. I know that Power BI has a free version, and then there is a paid version. So a lot of big companies do use Power BI. It does simplify a lot of processes. But from my opinion, I think there's two things that I've in the past why people tend to choose Dash, these smaller companies or medium-sized companies, because first of all, if the Dash version allows you to still deploy your app to the web, making it completely functional for users, you would not with Power BI free version. And second of all, I think you can customize your dashboard a lot more, because you pretty much use HTML and Python, so you can do pretty much anything you want with that, which I think is not as possible with Power BI, or as easy once you understand Python. That's my opinion. Again, I don't have enough experience with Power BI to answer.
Yeah, I think what you said is correct. Yes, there are drawbacks and advantages both Power BI and Dash Plotly as well. But as you said that Power BI requires a like they have a premium service where big companies do use that premium service, but companies in the middle tier, the Dash Plotly is a great tool for starters, I guess.
Yeah. Also, Aditya said that he found Plotly more customizable than Power BI. So Aditya seems to have experience with Power BI. He thought it was more customizable than Power BI. Sai Prasad is asking Atharva. He's a second-year undergraduate student using Streamlit for creating web apps, which I've heard is another great data visualization platform. Do you have any views on that? Do you have any experience with Streamlit?
I heard about Streamlit, but I never tried out any projects on Streamlit. But I read articles that it's almost similar to Dash and Plotly. Both have their ups and downs. can't comment on anything about Streamlit yet.
Yeah, I don't have enough experience with Streamlit either. I do. From what I read, it also is like with Power BI, it's a bit more customizable because of the HTML components. But
Yeah,
Streamlit, the strong thing, the advantage of Streamlit is that you can create simple dashboard apps very very quickly. You don't use the callback.
yeah. The in fact the code part of Streamlit is pretty simple. It's just a one-liners compared to Dash. But I think the customizability and the Dash offers is far greater than other competitors available. So that's my opinion about Dash Plotly.
Cool. Atharva, one of our watchers is asking, what was the most difficult part in your, let me just put it up here on the screen. What was the most difficult part in your journey throughout Plotly Dash?
Uh, well, my most difficult part, I would say, mm, well, uh, well, I'm so I'll talk about the difficult part and how I got the solution to it. So when I started learning Dash, I referred mostly to documentation, but you see, there's a limitation to understanding the documentation. Like the documentation is great, everything is structured properly, but uh, it only focuses on specific basic examples. Uh, Whereas when you're using Dash and Plotly in your personal project, you would encounter uh, challenges that have not yet covered in the documentation. So that's where I found other resources like Adam's YouTube channel and the community forum, where I could discuss about this anomalies in the Plotly Dash. Uh, so that was, I think, was the hurdle in learning process, which was pretty easily. I got help about it on the web.
Thank you, Atharva. Thank you. Um, can you share a little bit with us what is the current Dash project you're working on, either for work or for on the side?
Yeah, sure. I can. I'll just share my screen.
Okay, so these are, Atharva is going to share with us one or two dashboards that he's actually currently working on at his new job.
Well, okay. Is the screen visible?
Not yet. 1 second. Now it's visible.
Okay, so these are the this was the very first application that I worked on my during my job. So it's a financial dashboard. It's not targeted to any company. It's just a, you say, template as a dashboard. So here you can see the available cash, the total revenue. These are all the financial details of any company. The data, the data, the data is not a client's data. It's just a work, you can say, data for training that I got from a company, and I built out this application. You can check out the monthly analysis. So it gives the monthly report, like the distribution of the assets, the revenue, total amount. The next was the e-commerce
Nice.
dashboard. So this was designed for an online store, online retailer. So the store sells products from different vendors. Here you can see that top selling products. This is the overview page of their data. You can see the pie distribution of each vendor of their sales. You can click on it on a particular vendor. It will show you the specific vendors product sales, the top customers, and there's also products tab. So this is basically, you can check the each individual product. Like if I select something,
Nice.
okay, so here you can see the product image, the product sales history. You can check out the inventory stock details. Like if the inventory stocks are less, the company can upload the increase the stocks in the inventory. Then the units sold, the variants of the product sold. And the final is just finances summary. So this, it just provides all the details as a net summary. You can see the gross sales for that period, the total sales, sales from each vendor. You can select different vendors to update their details. And in this week, I am working on an ad campaign data. Here you can see this is the company ran an ad campaign for different companies on platforms like LinkedIn, Audience Network. Audience Network is a Facebook platform. So here you can see the total amount spent on the ad campaign, the total impressions you got, the platform performance on each platform, like the Audience Network, LinkedIn. So you can see the total amount spent, the impressions, the reach, clicks. Yeah,
Nice. Nice.
these are
Thank
other
you,
some
Atharva.
details. Yeah.
Very, very nice. It's very impressive because for those apps you're using Dash Bootstrap card, the regular Bootstrap you're using. I saw a lot of those Bootstrap buttons, and there was a. Is it the Dash data table or was it a Dash Bootstrap data table?
It was a bootstrap data type.
Nice. It's really neat, and the colors is beautiful and the layout really impressive.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm glad you got hired. You're definitely the person for the job. I'm glad you got hired.
Thank you
Santi was
so much.
saying, let me share. Great job, Atharva. It looks very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then Aditya was sharing here. Also another nice, beautiful comment. I'll take one last question here. I don't know about this. I don't know if Atharva you know, but can a Plotly dashboard be deployed or shared offline, sent like a zip folder? Do you know that?
Sorry, I didn't quite heard you there.
Um, can a Plotly dashboard app can it be shared offline, like as a zipped folder?
Well, as a zip folder, you can share the code file, and the person whom you're sharing has to run the .py file. Any other offline method I'm not aware of.
I'm not aware of any, Victor. I'm not aware of any. I would be surprised. I think you can do it. Share the zip. I've had people share. I've actually had people share their dashboard app as a zip folder. I mean, they're just sharing. They're compressing everything into a zip folder. They just send it to me, and then I open it and I copy paste all the files, and then I can run it on my computer. So you could do that. You can also
Yeah.
do what Atharva, you mentioned to me yesterday when we talked over the phone that you use Google Colab.
So I use Google Colab for all the analysis and visualizations. So before designing the for designing the dashboards, I use a Python IDE, the PyCharm. But prior to that, cleaning the data, creating the visualizations, I use Google Colab. And so Google Colab, I can access those notebook files anywhere on the cloud. So that's what. Other than
Okay.
that, if I want to share my code files with my seniors, I share the .py file. That's it.
Yeah, just share the .py file. I do that as well, and I have a video on the Google Colab how to create a dashboard app there. So
Yeah.
Victor, feel free to look at that because that is something you can share with others as well. I think you can decide who can see that app if you want. Tanji also said maybe as a .exe file. I've heard people do that, but I've never shared a dashboard app as a .exe file. Um, um, Atharva, Bruno is asking, did you find any significant difference between the way you built your personal dashboards and the requirements for a dashboard built for your company?
Uh, yeah, there was actually a far difference from my approach in building those applications and how it's done in the industry. So, in my personal projects, what I used to do was I added all the components in my ad in the main layout. I I didn't structure the each component like my code was all you call it spaghetti code. It's hard to tell where each code for each component is written. I can read it, but if suppose some other people want to see my code, it would be hard for them. So what I learned is now I structure my code like each component I built out separately and then add those components to my main final layout.
So the difference is the process of making the dashboard app.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. You're receiving a lot of thank you and a lot of appreciation comments so far.
Thank you so much.
Is there anything Prasad is asking as a second year student, any guidance you would give to a second year student in order to get into the data analytics field?
uh, well, I Even I am just a third year student. I'm not an expert, but what I would say is, uh, it's okay to not know everything. That the the field is vast. There are many things to learn. Take your own time. Don't uh, don't get depressed. Like compare your skills to others. Like people are already having, people are well experienced in all of these fields. Don't compare your skills. Take your own time. It's okay to not know everything in the start. Just take your own time. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Atharva. I appreciate it. This will end our live stream for today. Thank you for watching, everybody. It's been actually before I even close out, I just wanted to make sure, Atharva, I wanted to give an opportunity to share any closing remarks, or you're good. Do you want to share anything?
Well, just a thank you note for having me here. Glad I was useful for your channel. It was a great source for me. Lastly, I would want to give a shout out to my company, dataprofits.in. They are still looking for, they're building a team for the Dash Plotly apps, building this app. So if you're looking for a job in Dash Plotly, you can contact them on the LinkedIn page. You can contact me on my LinkedIn profile. Yeah, so that's it.
Did I
The
spell this
website is
correctly?
yeah, so their website is dataprofits.in. You can contact them at that.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. And you got congratulations from Bruno. Congratulations from a few other people here. They just thanking you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It's been a pleasure recording this for you. As mentioned earlier, aside from these channels, the Charming Data channel, use Plotly Form. It's a great place for support. A lot of very smart people and experienced people can help you there with any Dash Plotly questions you have. Make sure to build your dashboard apps like Atharva did, right? And deploy them to the web. This is going to be your portfolio, right? This portfolio of the 1, 2, 3 dashboard apps that you built will allow you to display your skills, your curiosity, your productivity, all of these things that can help you get a job or just gain recognition in the data visualization field, right? So show the world what you can create. And like Atharva told me actually earlier, that's sometimes it's the best way to learn is just to build things, right? So build your dashboard apps.
Yes.
If you want to see more of me or learn more about data visualization in Python, click on the link above, or it's going to be copy pasted here into the comment section. This is my patron, and if this patron is a nice way to see me or just support my work as a content creator and as an online educator. Thank you for tuning in. As always, keep practicing, never give up, and always remember we're better together to help each other out. Thank you, Atharva. I hope to talk to you soon. Enjoy your day.
Sure.
Bye, everyone.
My pleasure. Bye bye.